The true story of the Mishimas. So with Tekken finally being on PC with no fucking cross-platform, and everybody around the world is trying to fight their way to attain the Tekken Lord rank, I thought it would be a good idea to explain to all the newcomers when it comes to the Tekken series about the story of the Mishimas. Who are the Mishimas? What are the center of the story? And how could someone as powerful as Heihachi Mishima finally meet his end? Until Tekken 8. Well, ladies and gents, it's your lucky day today, because I will be explaining the whole story of the Mishima, which is pretty much also the Tekken story. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. So let's start off by going all the way back to the beginning. A long ass time ago, an old man named Jinpachi Mishima owned a dojo named Mishima Dojo and taught the fighting style Mishima style fighting karate. He really liked his middle name. But anyways, only the true warrior and the most powerful among all humans was able to learn about the Mishima style fighting karate, which was pretty much his son, Heihachi Mishima.
Boy.
Days, weeks, months, years went by, teaching, training his son to become the most powerful warrior, and after the years that went by, he was a fully grown man and ready to be the heir of the Mishima Dojo. Then suddenly, out of fucking nowhere literally, a little girl appeared whose name was Kasumi. She heard about this ancient fighting karate Mishima style, and she wanted to learn it for herself. So Jinpachi sat there for a hot minute to think about all the success he had gained from his electric fisting style, all the money that he had gained as well. So at the end of the day, he allowed Kasumi to train with his son Heihachi while he went to Vegas to spend his money on casinos and strippers. After they'd been training together for a while, Heihachi and Kasumi started to grow feelings for each other. Heihachi banged the shit out of Kasumi, and Kasumi gave birth to Heihachi's very first son, Kazuya Mishima. Wait a minute, wasn't Kasumi a fucking child when she joined the dojo? The family lived in peace and happiness for a couple of years, until Kasumi Mishima got hit by a giant fever and had to stay in the bed forever. Heihachi was so sad, depressed, but most importantly pissed that he couldn't have sex with his wife anymore, so every time he went to the Mishima dojo, he told his family that he was always going there to perfect his style karate Mishima fighting a lot more. But he only went there to browse on his unlimited membership of brasses on his laptop. So after 3 months of good fabbing, Kasumi Mishima suddenly appeared in front of Heihachi. She told him that she's been plotting this evil plan ever since the beginning she entered the Mishima dojo. She only married Heihachi, banged him, and gave birth to his very first son just to get child support, cause she knew how rich his father Jinpachi Mishima was. And the porn actor that Heihachi Mishima has been fabbing to the past 3 months was actually her. If he didn't give her child support, she would tell Jinpachi that his son has just been a perverted fuck, and she would tell their son that his father has been cheating on his mother. Terrified from Kasumi Mishima's evil plots, he grabbed his own wife's neck and snapped her like solid snake. He kicked the shit out of his son after figuring out that he killed his mother and threw him off a damn cliff. And suddenly, exactly the same moment when he threw him off the cliff, Jinpachi Mishima came home from his vacation. So Heihachi has no choice to beat the shit out of his own dad as well and trap him under the Mishima dojo just to make sure that nobody finds out about his dirty little secret. Oh yeah, by the way, Kasumi Mishima got the devil genes as well, which is the reason why you're fighting her in her demon form in Tekken 7, and also the reason why Kazuya Mishima got the devil genes as well, since it's been passed on from his mother. So yeah, a couple of years later, Heihachi Mishima now owns everything his father Jinpachi Mishima owned. So he spends all his resources on buying as many military forces and gears, and creates the one company to rule them all. And after some time of effort, he finally succeeds, and can be satisfied by sitting on the throne and lead the Mishima Zaibatsu. What is it with every Mishima naming everything by their own name? Heihachi then names his own fighting tournament, which he calls the King of the Iron Fist tournament, and everybody is welcome to join it. If you're strong enough to fight against any opponent and then finally defeat Heihachi Mishima himself in a 1v1 battle, you are strong enough to rule the one company to rule them all. Weeks went by with no success. And when Heihachi thinks he will always be undefeated, suddenly his son Kazuya Mishima appears. He has survived being thrown off a cliff because of his devil genes, and he has returned to avenge his mother. So he beats the crap out of Heihachi, throws his own father off the same cliff that he threw his son off, and then takes the throne of the Mishima Zaibatsu all for himself. And while protecting the throne for himself, he met this mysterious girl named Jun Kasama, which came out of fucking nowhere as well. We've never seen such a mysterious character since when did we see someone mysterious? I don't know what it is with Jun Kazama, but I guess she had a big booty or something since Kazuya and Mishima fell in love with her. So Kazuya pretty much spent his time rooting their one company to rule them all while banging the shit out of Jun Kazama every night. And that's pretty much how it was for pretty much a whole year. Until his father Heihachi Mishima came back from climbing the cliff, beat the shit out of his own son, and then go into a fucking volcano and throw his ass in the damn volcano. Try to survive that, bitch. So many years later, a giant ancient green fighting god awoke from his slumber. Any cities he went to was destroyed by his hand. Any fighter around the globe that challenged him to a death battle was utterly destroyed by him as well. Even someone as mysterious as Jun Kazama. But didn't Harada say she didn't die? I don't even know anymore. After been studying this ancient monster for a couple of weeks, Heihachi Mishima announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3 in hopes that someone would be able to beat the shit out of this ancient warrior so Heihachi Mishima could attain the power all for himself. But the more challengers appeared, the more challengers fell for this ancient warrior. And when all hope was lost, the ancient warrior that still went around undefeated, destroying cities, no one could even touch him, not even Heihachi Mishima himself. But there was one thing this ancient warrior was not expecting. Jin motherfucking Kazama. Jin Kazama is the son of Jun Kazama and Kazuya Mishima, and when he was old enough, he went to his grandpa, Heihachi Mishima, in the Mishima dojo, and Heihachi Mishima trained the living crap out of him and his rap battle as well. He banged the shit out of his own teacher just to get permission to leave the school before anybody else, and then he ran into this smoking hot girl named Ling Xiaoyu that offered him to be his BDSM sex slave, but he denied that shit cause he's so fucking cool. Jin Kazama's Mishima douchebag karate style is so damn strong that he went to the temple all by himself and beat the living crap out of the ancient warrior. He beat him multiple times in a rap battle, told him he's an idiot, and kicked him right in the ballsack cause Jin Kazama is so fucking cool. The ancient warrior started to cry like a little bitch, then suddenly he felt the after damage of being kicked in the balls by Jin Kazama and he just fell over and died. But then Heihachi came out of nowhere, and since he couldn't attain the ultimate powers from the ancient warrior, he took a gun and went time crisis on Jin Kazama's backhead. But obviously, being shot in the back of the head doesn't work on Jin Kazama because when you really think about it, it's Jin motherfucking Kazama. So, another couple of years later, the company Brazos itself was walking around in the volcano where Kazuya Mishima was laying. They found his dead body and resurrected him with the power of the devil gene. After Kazuya came back to life, they told him that his mother has been working as a porn star for them. And Heihachi Mishima has been watching those movies and was probably the reason why he killed his mother in the first place. After Kazuya learned the truth, he joined forces with Brazos and went around the world and killed everyone who has been watching the movies with his mother. And finally, when no one was left anymore, he joined the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 4, but not only to kill the final target who was his father, but also to gain the devil genes from his own son. He made it to the final stage and was easily able to beat his own father, but before he could kill his father, Heihachi told him that he should join him in the Mishima dojo. Once there, he saw his own son being chained up. Kazuya got rid of his own father and was ready to attain the devil genes himself. But what Kazuya Mishima didn't know, which his father himself, Heihachi Mishima, have experienced himself, there was one little thing that Kazuya didn't know about his very own son. It's Jin motherfucking Kazama. After the incident in the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 3, Jin Kazama spent all his years training and developing his body to become a stone cold Mishima killer. He entered the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 4 to get captured by the Tekken Force on purpose. Jin Kazama woke from his slumber, unchained himself, channeled his inner fucking awesome powers, and literally beat the shit out of his own dad. A couple seconds after, Heihachi Mishima woke up from his unconsciousness and was ready to fight his own grandson. But obviously, he was unsuccessful cause Jin Kazama is so fucking awesome. Then Jin Kazama was standing there feeling pity over his own father and his grandfather, and he just chose to fly away with his own devil genes cause he's so fucking cool. So a couple of minutes after, wow, really? A couple of minutes after, it's not a year after, it's not 2 years, it's not 10 years, it's not 20 years, Oh my god, Harada, what happened? Kazuya and Heihachi woke up from their unconsciousness just to realize they were surrounded by an army of sex robots. Kazuya instantly realized that these sex robots were sent from Brasser itself. So Kazuya and Heihachi was forced to fight together for the sake of their anal virginity. Until Kazuya left Heihachi behind and all these sex robots surrounded Heihachi and literally just exploded inside his anus. After a month of recovery, Heihachi Mishima figured out that someone else has been taking his place in the Mishima Zaibatsu, and it wouldn't take long either for Kazuya Mishima and any other fighter around the globe to figure out that as well. Cause the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 5 has been announced by a mysterious man. Do you guys remember Heihachi's father, Jinpachi Mishima, who was trapped underneath the Mishima dojo? Yeah, apparently he took over the Mishima Zaibatsu and launched the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 5 because he got, I don't know, he got possessed by a evil spirits. Good story, Harada. So new fighters gathered around the globe, ready to fight in the King of the Iron Fist Tournament 5. Was a boxer enough to take this evil spirit? Hell no. Could a wrestler do it? Of course not. So what about Jinpachi Mishima's best friend, Wang Jinrei? Wait a second, wasn't he at the start of the story? Wait, no, how fucking old is this dude? Wang Jinrei tried as well, but didn't succeed. Kazuya Mishima finally reunited with his grandpa after many years. Jinpachi Mishima told Kazuya that there's no way he can hurt his own grandson. So instead of a fight to the death, Kazuya and Jinpachi played chess. And since Kazuya Mishima have never ever used his brain for anything besides combat, he lost fair and square. Then Jinpachi Mishima reunited with his own son Heihachi Mishima. And to be honest, they didn't even fight. They were just sitting there, you know, eating some nice breakfast together, having a little tea party. Jinpachi telling Heihachi how his mother literally backstabbed him, and Heihachi could kinda relate. But then Heihachi started to cry and ran away like a little bitch cause he figured out that his own mother is also a stripper in Vegas where Jinpachi Mishima always goes to vacation. But what none of the challengers knew, that every time you challenged Jinpachi Mishima, he grew stronger from every challenge. Jinpachi had almost attained godly powers and there was no one that was able to stand up against him anymore. And while he was standing there in the center of the world, laughing with his overwhelming power, suddenly a flying kick ended right in his ballsack. You see, just like Kasumi Mishima, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, gathering power for all the enemies that he had defeated. To be honest, Jinpachi's evil plan could almost have been a complete success if he didn't forget about one little thing. Jin motherfucking Kazama. Jin Kazama was the final warrior to get the news about the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5. So before he went to the final stage to defeat Jinpachi Mishima, he went to a certain ghetto where he knew he could find Ling Xiaoyu. Ling Xiaoyu was so happy to see Jin Kazama, and she had even made herself more sexy to impress Jin Kazama. But Jin Kazama just went to the ghetto just to tell her that she's a fucking slut, and then he left again cause he's so fucking cool. So then he finally went to the final stage. He beat the crap out of Jinpachi, he beat him even in chess, and then also challenged him to a rap battle. And since Jinpachi is so ancient, he just went like, what is a rap battle? And since he didn't know about rap battle, he started to cry like a little bitch while Jin Kazama was just dancing on top of his grave. Jin Kazama then took over the Mishima Zaibatsu himself and declared war against the rest of the world cause he's so fucking awesome. Yeah. Years has passed by. Destruction in every corners of the world. No places were safe. No places to even call home. The Mishima Zaibatsu's war against the world have turned the whole world upside down. If anyone was able to attain the power of the Mishima Zaibatsu, you would literally have the power of the whole world. When everything seemed lost, that man finally stood his ground and was ready to stand up against Jin Kazama himself. Yeah, honestly, nobody gives a shit about Lars, but I'll tell a little about him as well since he is, you know, part of the Mishima to some degree. So Lars fights against a couple of robots, the robots explode and he loses his memory of who he is, and a female sex robot follows Lars around the globe to find out why she was made and who Lars truly was. Yo, are you telling me they actually got a real sex robot? So after been traveling around the globe, they finally find Jin Kazama. They fight against Jin Kazama for a hot minute, and then Jin Kazama tells Lars the reason why he declared war against the world. Cause apparently it was the only fucking way to awake the evil god Azazel himself from his slumber. So Lars goes to Egypt to find Azazel himself. He ran into Kazuya Mishima and told him that he's his half brother. So as angry and surprised as Kazuya Mishima was, he just said, "Fuck it. I'm leaving. I don't want none of this bullshit. I'm tired of chasing my damn family for this many years. Fuck it." And left Lars all alone to fight Azazel himself. So he finds Azazel, and typically as the evil god, he just stands there mouthing about his evil plots and everything he wanna do to the entire world. Blah 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 blah. You can't do anything. Blah 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 blah. I am the evil god. Blah 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 blah. Nobody can stop me. Blah 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 blah. So Lars told Azazel to shut up, and he did. To walk outside and see Jin Kazama standing outside. So since Jin's father had never taught his son a lesson, Lars thought it was a great idea to teach his nephew to respect the elders. And wow, I actually gotta be honest, I was actually surprised that Lars was able to beat Jin Kazama. Alright. But then they get caught off by Azazel, and Lars was standing there surprisingly being like, "How are you still alive?" And then Lars realized that he did say blah blah blah, "No one can defeat me, blah blah blah, I'm a god." So what could they do now? None of the worlds could beat Azazel himself. He was literally a true god. No one was able to actually stand up against him. And while Azazel himself was ready to go out and destroy all existence, he forgot about one little thing. Jin motherfucking Kazama. You see, Jin Kazama only took over Mishima's Zaibatsu and declared war just to awaken Azazel himself, so he could be the one to beat the fucking crap out of him. But before he declared war on the world, he went home to Ling Xiaoyu, and Ling Xiaoyu was standing there so surprisingly, thinking that it was finally her time and her destiny to be banged by her crush. But Jin only went home to her to call her a slut one more time, and then he left again, cause he's so fucking cool. And then when the weeks went by, and when Azazel awoke from his slumber, Jin Kazama declared that he'll be the one to beat the living crap out of him. Azazel tried to destroy Jin Kazama with his unlimited power of laser beam, but it had no effect on Jin Kazama cause his swag was so overwhelming. Jin Kazama literally one-shot Azazel himself and brought him down to hell. Lars was standing there crying happily cause he realized that his nephew was so fucking cool. Jin Kazama has the biggest swag in the whole Tekken series. And now, ladies and gents, we're finally at the Tekken 7 story. I remember back in the days when Tekken 7 was finally announced at EVO. The world is finally tired of Heihachi Mishima's bullshit. He must be eliminated. Since Jin Kazama is finally out of the way, Heihachi Mishima takes over the Mishima Zaibatsu for himself and declares the king of the Iron Fist Tournament 7. This moment, this opportunity could not have been better. Fighters are gathering for the last time around the world. Old faces and new faces among them. It is time to team up, unite together, and once for all, finally get rid of Heihachi Mishima's evil plots. We may have never seen eye to eye, but we must put the past behind us for a greater cause. Heihachi Mishima's power. That power is to be tested to this day today. For on this day today, Heihachi Mishima will feel the wrath of the whole world. But then when the game came out, pretty much any Tekken character in the Tekken series are not even involved in the main story. Obviously some of them are, but very little. And don't even get me started on some characters that's literally missing from the game. So to be honest, there's not really much about the Tekken 7 story. Heihachi plans his evil plots, so do Kazuya Mishima. The male actor from Kasumi's Brazos videos appear as well, to get rid of Heihachi and Kazuya Mishima for destroying the brand and Kasumi Mishima's own name. Heihachi keeps telling Kazuya fuck you, and Kazuya gets sad and pissed and say fuck you as well, and they're finally settling the score at the volcano that Kazuya Mishima was thrown into. But this time Kazuya Mishima finally kills his father and finally avenges his mom. Is it just in the Mishima's genes that if somebody poked themselves in the eye with a fork, you have to do exactly the same thing? So Kazuya throws his father in the volcano just like Heihachi did to Kazuya. So now we know he's gonna come back in Tekken 8 with devil genes. And now Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima has taken over the old relationship that Kazuya Mishima and Heihachi had. So yeah, pretty whack ass story. But that's it.